The Apple TV 4K is easily my favorite streaming box on the market, and honestly, nothing else even comes close. Every time I turn it on, I'm reminded why I like it so much. It's fast, it's clean, it's reliable, and the whole experience just feels more premium than what Google, Amazon, or Roku are offering right now. The interface is smooth, the apps are polished, and the overall experience feels like a high-end piece of tech rather than a cheap gadget you forget about after a few months. But here's the funny part. It's also the oldest streaming device I own. I'm still using the first-generation Apple TV 4K from 2017. That's wild when you think about it. This little black box is pushing up against a decade of life, which is ancient in tech years. And while it technically still works, there's no denying that it's finally starting to show its age in all the small, irritating ways that slowly drive you crazy. Apps hang more often than they used to. I find myself forced quitting things that never used to crash. Animations that were once buttery smooth now stutter every so often. Even just navigating the home screen feels heavier and a bit sluggish compared to how it felt a few years ago. Nothing is totally broken, but the writing is definitely on the wall. This Apple TV 4K is aging out. For the longest time, my plan was simple. Use this Apple TV 4K until it dies, then upgrade. That was it. No drama, no overthinking. But as we moved into 2024, and especially 2025, I started seriously considering replacing it early. The third-generation Apple TV 4K looked really tempting. Faster chip, better HDR support, a more compact design, lower starting price on paper. It was a huge upgrade over my first-gen model. The only problem? Everywhere I looked, I saw the same thing. Don't buy now. The next Apple TV 4K is coming. Rumors kept repeating the same story. A fourth-generation Apple TV 4K was right around the corner. Major redesign plan, new chip, better performance, new features, likely release in 2025. So I did what a lot of people do in tech. I waited, and then I waited some more. I told myself, why buy the third-gen Apple TV 4K now if the fourth gen is just a few months away? I'll regret it if I upgrade, right? Before a big redesign drops. So I held off. I watched every leak, read every article, followed every supposed insider. 2025 became the year I'd finally get the Apple TV 4K upgrade I was dreaming about, except that fourth-generation Apple TV 4K never showed up. Not at WWDC, not at Apple's fall event. Not in October. Not quietly at the end of the year. And nothing. I ended up doing the worst possible thing you can do as a tech buyer. I waited for something that didn't actually exist yet. I paused my own enjoyment based on a product that, at least at that time, was purely hypothetical. Now here we are in 2026, and only now are leaks and supply chain reports really starting to point toward serious next-generation Apple TV 4K. Actual evidence, real components, concrete reports. And at this point, I'm kind of done playing the waiting game. I don't plan on running out tomorrow to buy the third-generation model, because my current box still technically works. But I also know one thing for sure. I'm not repeating the same mistake. This endless waiting for the next big thing usually just means spending months or years using outdated hardware for no good reason. Looking back, I absolutely should have just bought the third-generation Apple TV 4K. When I first wanted to adopt, my current Apple TV has effectively aged out of Apple's feature roadmap. It still gets the basic system updates, but the exciting stuff has moved on without it. It doesn't support the newer liquid glass UI effects that make the interface feel more dynamic and modern. It doesn't have some of the newer aspect ratio and display options that help you fine-tune how content looks on newer TVs. It even missed out on those Snoopy screensavers, which, yes, still feels oddly personal. All my apps still run, technically. I can open Netflix, YouTube, Disney+, Apple TV+, all of it. But feature-wise, The box feels abandoned in a way that the second and third generation Apple TV 4K models just don't. Those models are still getting the latest visual touches, the new screensavers, the updated UI flourishes, and the future-facing tweaks that keep a product feeling alive. I had every reason to upgrade already. I could have done it months ago. Instead, I locked myself in this loop, checking rumor sites, watching Apple TV 4K leak videos, scanning supply chain reports, waiting for events, convincing myself that the new model was basically confirmed. For 2025, articles said 2025, YouTubers said 2025, leakers said 2025. Now it's 2026. And only very recently did we start seeing truly strong signs that a new Apple TV 4K might actually be real. If I'm honest, I should have looked at things more realistically. The second generation Apple TV 4K is still getting updates. Apple clearly hasn't abandoned it. The third generation Apple TV 4K is still a modern, fast, extremely capable streaming box that will likely remain relevant for many years to come. A future 4th gen Apple TV 4K will obviously be faster and flashier, but it's not like the second or third gen models are slow or unusable. In fact, my ancient first gen Apple TV 4K still feels smoother than the Roku Ultra I bought in 2024 for my bedroom TV. That alone says a lot about how good Apple's long-term optimization really is, and how decent an upgrade even to the second or third gen Apple TV 4K would have been for me. This whole situation really highlights how easy it is to get stuck waiting in tech. There's always a new roadmap, always another leak, always some trusted source who swears a huge upgrade is only a few months away. And because of that constant noise, it's incredibly easy to talk yourself into delaying a purchase you actually need right now. If I had just upgraded when my Apple TV 4K first started feeling old, I would have been enjoying a faster, more responsive, more modern streaming box for over a year by now. Instead, I've spent that time babying a device from 2017 and low-key resenting it every time it freezes or lags. And the lesson here doesn't just apply to streaming boxes. You see the exact same thing over and over again in PC gaming. Someone asks if they should upgrade their GPU or CPU, and the comments are practically copy and paste. Don't buy now. Wait for next gen. It's right around the corner. You'd be crazy to upgrade today. On the surface, that sounds like smart advice. Why buy something now if something better is literally about to launch? But then reality hits. Prices spike unexpectedly. RAM becomes more expensive. GPUs go out of stock. Tariffs increase. Supply chains break. Demand explodes because of AI workloads or crypto or some other trend nobody saw coming. Suddenly that perfect time to buy vanishes. If you had just bought what you needed months earlier, you'd be happily gaming instead of obsessively checking price charts, stock trackers, and Reddit threads trying to time a purchase that never quite feels right. So now I have a new rule for myself. If it's something I'm going to use immediately and enjoy every single day, I don't wait unless a big sale is literally just days away and already announced. Otherwise, you end up exactly where I am now, having waited an entire year for absolutely nothing. I don't want that feeling again. The next time I want a piece of tech that I know I'll use, I'm just buying the product that actually exists. No overthinking, no rumor tracking, no waiting for imaginary devices with imaginary specs. Because in the end, waiting around for the perfect moment almost always costs you more in time and enjoyment than you ever save in money or performance. That brings me back to the Apple TV 4K, specifically. My current Apple TV 4K has essentially fallen off Apple's feature roadmap. No liquid glass interface effects, no expanded display modes, no fancy new UI tricks, no fun new screensavers. It works, but it feels frozen in time. And the most frustrating part is that I didn't have to end up here. I talked myself into waiting because everyone sounded so confident that a brand new Apple TV 4K was coming in 2025.